Yo, I'm back. I've been hearing this news about Trossard to Turkey, and I've been hearing a few other rumors about players that are leaving. I'm just trying to think, what players do we really want to leave and what players do we really want to stay? To me, I see it as, if you get an opportunity for Trossard to leave, I think he needs to go. And I say that with the utmost respect, because a lot of people will be like, no, but we lack a good squad, and Trossard's a good bench player and stuff like that. Listen, Trossard might not be a player that wants to sit on the bench. He might want guarantees. We've already seen Ranieri, and we've seen his contract negotiation with Ranieri saying that he wants to stay and he wants to be guaranteed and see what his minutes are. So not every player is going to be like, yeah, I'm happy to sit on the bench. Like, I know we're in a situation where we always feel like we want players to start, though. We always want players that want to start. You do always want players that want to start, until the player that wants to start all the time and wants to be guaranteed minutes is not good enough and wants to be guaranteed minutes. For me, I'm happy that Trossard's got the attitude of, I want to play every minute, I want to play, and he's not happy that he's playing. I'm happy about that. But unfortunately, I don't want him starting all the time because he's just not good enough. So I actually need him, in a funny way, to actually be happy to be on the bench. I need him to have the El Neni attitude, to be like, you know what, I'm happy to sit on the bench. I'll be a good squad player. I actually need that. It's all well and good saying, yeah, I want every player meant to want to start, and that's the attitude that we want. Yeah, that's nice, until the player that wants to start isn't good enough and he's not performing when he's starting. So if Trossard was the type of player that was like, you know what, I'll sit on the bench, and if when you need me, I'll be like that. Then I'll be like, keep him. That's exactly the type of player we need off the bench. You know, we can get a goal whenever. We know he's a brilliant finisher. He's clearly good enough. We know he's Premier League proven. We know he's a quality player. He would be one of the best bench players in the league. He'd be one of the worst starters for a top team. Can't have Trossard starting at our club when we're trying to win the league and the Champions League. It's not. It's not going to work. Not for this season coming up. There's too much on the line. So this Trossard to Turkey kind of links that he's got, I personally feel like we just kind of have to sell him. And the same goes for Martinelli. Like, I would much rather keep Martinelli than Trossard, just because I feel like Martinelli's got potentially a higher ceiling. But he's on his last legs as well. He's on his last legs as well. I'm not at this. If you're getting 60, 70 million from Martinelli, you might have to sell. That's the kind of, like, that's why I'm a little bit irritated with the kudos and to Tottenham do. I know maybe kudos might have just wanted Tottenham, and it's not always guaranteed, but I'm just seeing it as like, you can sell Martinelli for 60 odd million, buy kudos for 60 odd million. You're winning. That's a brilliant you know what I mean, transaction. But maybe it's Martinelli is he's still got a lot to give, and he's still young. He's super young, and so if I'm going to keep one of the two out of Trossard or Martinelli, it would probably be Martinelli if it's in terms of actual football. If it's about the money, obviously you would sell Martinelli because he can get you more money. But I'm done with trying to focus on just the money side of it. I know it's a business as well, so you do need to factor that in. But in terms of footballing, we haven't spent money for a few windows as far as I'm concerned. So in footballing, I would much rather sell Trossard, and I feel like he's at the stage now where he needs to be a bench player at our club, and I just don't feel like he's the right fit for a bench player, because I just don't feel he's going to want to sit on the bench. I'm happy that Tomiyasu's contract to come to a mutual agreement. I feel like it's about time that there was respect on both sides to say that, you know what, I just can't get fit, and Arsenal in a position where we've tried to stick by you and stand by you, and there's only so much we can do. So I feel like that's fair. It's a shame though with Tomiyasu, because Tomiyasu would have been probably our best defender. Like, it's such a shame, because he is a phenomenal defender. I don't think people outside of Arsenal really understand how good a defender Tomiyasu is. He really would have been one of the best defenders in the last few years at our club. So it's such a shame, because he's versatile. He can play centre back, right back, left back. Strong, quick, tall, physical, brilliant at reading the game. He's a brilliant, brilliant defender. So it's such a shame that his fitness issues are just getting the better of him, because he would have been one of our better defenders in the last couple of years. So I think it's fair that he kind of, it's time to be like, you know what, I can't get fit, man. I can't be fit. Let me go and focus on what I've got to do. And you guys you guys need to go and win the league. So he's not helping that. So I think it's a fair resolution to come to mutual terms to be like, you know what, like let's part ways and good luck in the future from on both parties. And I think the same is going to be said for Jesus in the next year or so. Jesus comes back, I think it's January times, and I think when it comes towards the summer, because I know Arteta still has to factor in Jesus, because if Jesus comes back and he stays fit, he's a player that's automatically going to be on the left wing or striker. He still has to think about this player. This player's on 200 and something thousand pound a week, so you got to think about these things. Like, it's all well and good getting Gyökeres in, and we need a left winger. We want Rodrigo and Eze, but Jesus is coming back, and if Jesus comes back and he gets his injury, like, let's imagine he stays fit from January until the end of the season, for example, he would be a phenomenal squad player again. He seems like he's not a bad egg. He's not a bad apple. He's not that he's happy to sit on the bench, but he looks like he's a good squad player. He's got the right mindset. So he's another tricky one. It's just his wages are too high. So, I mean, to me personally, I'm at the stage where it's kind of similar to the Tomiyasu one, where it's like, you know what, we've tried, we've stuck by you. You've helped us get to certain positions now and get back up to the top table. But it might be time to part ways on a respectful thing, because I feel like it's just too injury prone. Like, but the same thing could happen with what happened with Thomas Partey, because Partey was injured for a long time, and then he became fit, and then we saw the best of him the last year and a half. So anything can happen. So Jesus has got a chance, because when he comes back in January, he's going to come back into the squad. He's got a chance to, but I mean, there's only so much he can do with his fitness. So it's a bit of an issue, but it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one, but I'm more at the moment. I'm on the side of, you know what, it's the same as Tomiyasu. It's a mutual agreement at the end of the season, and thank you for what you've done. We clear up a lot of the wage bill as well, 200 and something thousand that we're going to get back a week, and he's just never fit. Never fit. He's knee injuries, and he's always out with Jesus. He's always out for extended periods of time. Him and Tomiyasu are always out. They're never out for a few weeks. They're always out for like 4 months. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that's more the issue is. We've got a couple of other players like Lokonga, that he's returned back to preseason training. I don't think Lokonga's that bad a player, you know. I don't think he's that bad of a player, but right now, like, me personally, I would actually just leave him on the bench if we need to. That he can play the 6 and the 8 kind of thing. I don't mind. I'm not too mad with Lokonga being the third option on like behind Zubimendi and Norgard. I'm not madly against that. I just feel like Lokonga wants to play. We saw him in the Amazon documentary when he was talking to Nketiah at the table, talking about he should be playing and stuff like that. So I just feel like if that's the case, then you might as well just let him go. Yeah, it's not worked out. You can just go. Like, I'm on that. I'm on this real honest truth to say to him, listen, there's 2 players ahead of you. Are you willing to just sit on the bench and maybe work your way into it? If he says not really, then you can go. I think it's clear as day that we don't want him anyway. He's just returned from his loan. So I think he's a player that we need to just get off the wage bill and just he can go and maybe bring up some new players from the academy in his position. I think he needs to go. Tierney, obviously, he's going to go. Zinchenko, I feel like I think his time's up. Calafiori and Lewis Skelly have just taken that left back role. I'm not against Zinchenko being a squad player. I don't think he's a bad squad player. I just feel like we've just gone past that level now. So with Miles Lewis Skelly and Calafiori there, I feel like it's time for Tierney and Zinchenko just to both move on and free up some space in the squad. I don't know what's taking us so long to get rid of these players. I think it's time that they go now. I think obviously Arteta's not a fan of Tierney. His injury record is abysmal as well. So that one is an obvious one. Zinchenko, he's done well for us. He's been a good player for us, but I just feel like his defensive liabilities are too much. And it's always going to be, and it just makes you doubt what he can produce in the game. You just get scared that he's gonna be caught out. So that alone means that we've gone past that stage. I don't ever feel like that with Martinelli. Calafiori is not the greatest defender, but I'm far more solid with Calafiori than I am with Zinchenko currently. And then the same goes for Kivior. Like, I'm not really a fan. I don't really want Kivior to leave. I'll be honest. When he filled in when Gabriel was injured in the Champions League, I saw a new side of him. I didn't realize he was actually as good as he actually is. So I'm not a fan of Kivior leaving. I think we should really be trying to keep Kivior. I don't think he needs to leave at all. But it's just about whether he's going to be a squad player or not. I feel like if Kivior leaves, then you're going to get in players like Hato and stuff like that. I wouldn't be against that, but I know Hato's a good young player and a prospect, but I've seen Kivior this season, or should I say last season. So I'm not against Kivior staying, but it's just whether he wants to stay or not. Because as much as we want to keep players and we want them in the squad and stuff like that, these are human beings at the end of the day. These are players that they deserve opportunity to go to other clubs and play football. This is their dream. This is their life. So they deserve playing football on the football pitch. You know what I'm saying? This is what they've worked their whole life for. Everyone wants to play football. So if we get an opportunity that he can leave and it works for him and it suits him, I think it's a bit harsh to be like, no, you're not going, when it's an opportunity that he can play. And we can also get a potential another backup option that might be better than him. I mean, he's not at the level where he's indispensable to our squad, but it's just more of a, you know what, you actually filled in when Gabriel was out and you actually did really well. So it would benefit us to keep you, but in a selfish way, because it's like, we want you just in case Gabriel gets injured. You know what I'm saying? But he might be like, listen, there's an opportunity there. My agent's speaking to this club and I want an opportunity there. And he's not an essential member of our squad. So on that one, it's a bit of an awkward one. It's like, does he go? Does he stay? Me, I'll be like, you know what? Do you want to go? How badly do you want to go? If you want to go badly, then you can go. If you're not, if you still want to stay and fight for your squad and for your position, I would keep him, because this year is a crucial year. So I'd probably keep him in an ideal world, but it depends how badly he wants to leave. So that's my take on that one. But in an ideal world, he would stay. But yeah, I think that's about it with those players, man. It's like we're not going to start going into the Havertz and those type of players. Obviously, Havertz is a player that earns 280 or 285 a week, and it's crazy wage structure that he's on. But he's not a bad squad player. He'd be one of the better bench players in the league. So I'm not against Havertz staying as long as he is on the bench and not our main striker. If we get Jokovic in and Havertz is on the bench, I'm happy with that. I wouldn't be upset Havertz coming off the bench. So yeah, that's how I see it. That's how I take it. That's a few of my takes on the players that are staying and potentially leaving. Let me know what you lot think in the comments. And yeah, I'm not going to get into the signings that we're trying to make and stuff like that. This was just about a thought that I had about a few players that were at the club now that we need to get rid of potentially and make some money. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.